Hi, my name is Dr. Venus Evans Winters, and today I'm going to talk to you about knowing your purpose. Knowing your purpose. Did you know that a lot of your life problems could actually be solved if you knew your purpose? A lot of your life problems could be solved if you walked in your purpose. Okay, so I'm not going to say that all of your life problems would be solved, but how you feel about the problems or challenges that you have to confront can actually be minimized if you knew your purpose, if you were walking in your purpose. Now, this is a secret that many clinicians know. This is also a secret that many people who have been successful in their personal lives, their relationships, as well as in their professional lives know that when you know your purpose, you know exactly where you need to go. You also know how to get to where you want to go. And so that's why when I'm working with my clients, whether that's on the clinical side, if that's with my clients, my coaching clients, or even if that's with my friends and my family, usually I start with the question. I don't know if I start with it, but I definitely at some point ask the question, what's your purpose? So in today's video, I want to raise that question. What is your purpose? What is your purpose? Now, typically when I ask people, what is your purpose? It's like a deer in the headlights. It's like, okay, like not many of us are asked what is your purpose, what is the purpose of your life. So when we are younger kids, usually people ask us, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or people might ask us, why do you go to school? What's your major? How's your major going to help you get a job? Or even if people are experiencing depression or anxiety, or if they're not feeling well emotionally, people ask them, so what's bothering you? But very rarely do people ask us when we're thinking about a problem or a challenge, or if we have a goal that we want to accomplish. Very rarely are people asked, what is your purpose? What is the purpose of your life? What is your purpose for being on this earth, for walking this earth? And so I would say this: if you're trying to complete a writing project, if you have a research project in mind, or if you have a personal goal, if you have a professional goal, whatever it is, and sometimes all of those cross over, the first thing you should do is learn how to find and articulate your purpose. Learn how to find and articulate your purpose. I cannot emphasize that enough. Okay. Now, I've implemented that for quite some time now, at least. It's been more than 10 years that I started contemplating and think about my own purpose. I can't think of an exact date. That's how long it's been. But I also know that, again, in the clinical area, or when we're those of us who work around mindsets and coaching, and that can be athletic coaching, that can be in life coaching, that can be in business coaching. uh, the first thing that we are taught, of course, after establishing rapport, after getting to know a person, after understanding the challenge or the problem that's confronting them, the first thing we do after all of that is we say, what's your purpose? What is your life purpose? And I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna ask you that. I'm gonna leave you with that question, and I want you to, if you have a pen and paper near it, write down, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? And if you don't have a pen or paper, use your phone. Okay, so if you're watching this video, you probably are close to a computer, or you're close to any, your phone or your iPad. If not, go grab a piece of paper. This is very important, and y'all know I'm gonna keep it real. And when I keep it real, I can tell you now, a lot of black people, people of African ancestry, women, black women, indigenous women, we don't know our purpose. I mean, when we were brought here, to this continent, to North America, we were brought here to serve a purpose. We were brought here as property, as chattel slavery. And then as things began to evolve, we forgot our original purpose as a people, as a cultural group, and then of course now later as individuals. But even as kids, a part of our educational system is always to prepare you to serve somebody else's purpose. As as girls, as black women, we're taught early on, we're socialized to serve other people's needs, serve other people's purposes. And I don't care if that's domestic work, I don't care if that's child, labor, I don't care if that's to give labor. So a part of the process of feeling fulfilled in life is to know your purpose. So go ahead, grab a piece of paper or type directly in your device. Okay. The question: what is my purpose? What is my purpose? What is my purpose in this sphere, on this earth, in this life? Okay. So what is my purpose? And then when you've articulated your purpose, I want you to think about, how are you going to live in your purpose? How are you going to achieve your purpose? So, in my case, again, I've been thinking about this for a long time. My purpose in life is to protect black women, protect black girls, to help make another black girl's or black woman's life easier. My purpose is to serve in the liberation of black people and other indigenous people. My purpose in life is to make one woman, one child, one family's life easier. Okay, so next, I usually ask people, well, how? So, how do you achieve that? So, when you know your purpose, you know what you need to do to achieve that. So, for me, how do I help one woman, one child, one family at a time? Or how do I make their life easier? How do I help to protect them? How do I help to encourage them? How do I help to bring forth their power? That might be through education. Okay, and how we define education is going to sometimes be context specific, and sometimes it changes, right? So, education at one point in life might be to help someone learn how to tie their shoe. At another point in life, it might be to teach them how to drive. At another point in their life, it might be to help them learn how to, you know, how to access, education. Maybe that's a college or a university, or it might be to help people in their careers or their profession. What does that look like? What does protection look like? Protection may look like, hey, I'm gonna teach you what it looks like to advocate for yourself, right? So that how, so once you know your purpose, you begin to think about how you're going to walk in that purpose. So if you have your journal, a pen and paper, or your computer, your tablet, whatever, okay? So your first question that you're going to write down is, what is my purpose? And I want you to journal on this tonight. Now, if you've been watching this channel for quite some time, you know that I believe in journaling, okay? Journaling works. Journaling works. Journaling helps us focus on our goals. It helps us articulate our goals, focus on our goals, let us know how far we've come in our goals. And also it helps us, process information so that we're not, burdened with it. Okay. So, but anyway, get your journal. So first, what is my purpose? And think about that. And sometimes your purpose, I don't know if it changes, but it definitely evolves. Okay. It evolves. So what is my purpose? And then two, how might I achieve that purpose? But before you can even talk about the how, you have to know the what. What is my purpose, and how will I achieve my purpose? Okay. And now I know for sure, because I've been a scholar for a long time. Okay, so I've been in the field of education for a long time, and I've been a clinician for a long time. And I've worked with great people in the area of coaching. And I can say this every time I ask people, and I have to ask them for weeks, okay, for weeks at a time, weekly. What is your purpose? And it's frustrating. It's frustrating to articulate your purpose, because it's something deep down in you. So you know for sure that you have a purpose. You know for sure that you have a purpose. And all that icky feelings, that feeling of uneasiness, that feeling of irritability, those feelings of anger and anxiety, or feeling like I'm not enough, it comes from not identifying your purpose. So you actually have to sit with this. You have to sit with this, and you have to ask yourself this daily. And even if not daily, writing it down, thinking about it up here and knowing it up here. Okay. So, what is my purpose? How do I achieve my purpose? It sounds easy, when you raise the question, but it can become frustrating when you can't identify it or you can't articulate it. But I can tell you this from an African centered perspective, everybody has a purpose. Every spirit has determined that individual's purpose before you even arrive on this earth. And your only goal, like what's driving you, your only motivation is to live out that purpose. And if you're not able to live out that purpose because of oppression or suppression or other barriers, sometimes self-imposed or system-imposed, self-imposed or system-imposed, you will feel unhealthy. You will feel mentally ill. Okay, you will have dis-ease. Okay, so a chemical reaction is the way that I like to think of it. Um, so it's frustrating, but that's why you continually reflect on it. You reflect on it in your mind, you write on it, you talk it out with people. You can talk it out with a professional or someone else, but you have to talk about it. Okay. And it's frustrating, but once you know it, you'll forever know what you're supposed to be doing. And when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, then you know when to shift gears. You know when to shift gears. Okay. So something that I try to help people uh, focus on, like a methodology that I use, is when you're thinking about your purpose, you first want to identify your passion, right? So, what are you passionate about? Some people are passionate about music. Some people are passionate about teaching. Some of us, I'm one of those people. I'm passionate about writing. I'm passionate about thinking. I'm passionate about freedom and liberation because I know what it looks like to be dehumanized. I know what it feels like not to be seen or heard or believed. Okay, so my passion is liberation. My passion is freedom. My passion is intellectual activism. So I want you in your journal, okay, in your journal, go ahead and identify your passion. Okay, so right, what is your passion? What are you passionate about? And you will know your passion because your passion is something that just it makes you feel good. It brings you joy. Okay, it brings you joy. It brings you excitement. It's why you wake up in the morning, right? Or why you go to bed happy and ecstatic. So what is your passion? What are you passionate about? What is it, that one thing that no matter what, you're gonna win an argument on? Or if you don't win an argument, you're gonna figure out how to win that argument the next time. Okay, it's something that you fight for, right? You're a freedom fighter for your passion. Uh, After you've identified your passion, so that might be one sentence circle, right? If you think about it visually, your passion. Next, you're gonna identify your skills. So go ahead in your journal, write down what are your skills. I want you to list your skills. Your skills is something that you actually more than likely you trained in, okay, or you practice. So if you are an athlete who's into basketball, maybe your skill set is, shooting free throws, okay, or you practice your dribble. So that's a skill. If you are a writer, right, it's articulating your title. It might be a skill of identifying the conflict in the story, or you may have a skill in researching, okay, or you may have a skill in interviewing. That's one of my skills. Okay, I'm great at interviewing. I'm good at observations. I'm good at interpreting text. Okay, so that's a skill set. And it's something that I'm not just good at because I woke up like this, like Beyonce, but I'm good at it because I practiced it. I practiced it. It becomes a skill because not only do I practice it, but I continue to train in it. Okay. So right now in your journal, you've identified your passions. Okay. You list your passion or passions. You also list your skills. So now In your journal, in your device, you have your skill sets. So that's two circles. Okay. Next, what I tend to do is I have people write down their talent. Okay, so identify your talents. And I'm gonna tell you now that's hard for Black people, Indigenous people, and other people of color, and other women. It can be difficult to identify your talents because sometimes when we think of talents, we think of it as something that we have to be totally exceptional at, and we're only thinking about it as exceptional based off somebody else's standards. Okay, but I want you to reorganize your thoughts around that. Okay, reorganize your thinking around what a talent is. A talent is something that you're good at. It's like you didn't receive any professional training, uh, or more than likely, but it was just something that you were gifted with. Like you really woke up like Beyonce. Like I woke up like this. I'm just talented in this. For me, I've always been talented at the gift of gab, for better or for worse. Okay, let my parents tell it. I talk too much. Let the teachers tell it. I was going to be punished for talking too much or thinking too much. Okay, I was talented at the gift of gab. For other people, you might be a talented dancer, right? So you may or may not have taken any professional training, but you just tend to hear a beat or a rhythm, and you're good at dancing. You're talented at it. Like, and other people will say, "Whoa, you're noticeably talented." Some people are talented artists. Maybe they haven't received any training in, say, painting or drawing, but they can freestyle a piece of art. I was born into a family like that. My mother, my brother, now my nieces and nephews, they had no formal training in art, but early on in life, 5, 6, 7, 8, they just found themselves doodling and something great came out of it. 15, 16, they begin to, of course, take art classes in high school or in a community center. Before you know it, they're making pictures like this. Okay, I'm not saying they make this picture, but what I'm saying is that they are talented at it. It's like they're born with these gifts, and then later on they may decide if they want to hone in on that gift. Okay, so anyhow, in your journal, on your device, go ahead and write a list of your talents, and don't censor yourself. Don't censor yourself. Don't worry about what other people's thoughts are. Okay, so we're not worried about that. Again, sometimes when you're not serving other people's needs or walking in someone else's purpose, it's easier for people to judge you, and you begin to accept that. Okay, so you're going to name your own talents. Okay, name your own talents. And so now you have three circles. Okay, so first you have your passions or your passion listed. Okay, so what are you passionate about? And I don't want to say passions here. I want to say, what are you most passionate about? Okay, what are you most passionate about? Then you're going to list your skills. So, what are your skill sets? What is something you actually received education in, or you've trained in, and you practice it to become proficient in it? Now, the third circle, right? Now you're going to list your talents. What are you talented at? What are you gifted at? Okay, so what is a gift that you have that others may or may not have, but other people will definitely notice in you, like, whoa, she's talented. Okay, okay, so now you have three: your passion, your skills, and your talent. And I can say this, that more than likely when you find your passion, your skills, and your talent, where it overlaps, where your passion, your skills, and your talents overlap, that's your purpose. That's your purpose. Okay, so when I think about myself as a research and policy scholar, as someone who's an author who has written numerous books and articles, I'm able to identify my passion, uh, because it makes me just feel good. Like I just want to stay up and do it. I want to do it for hours. I want to talk about it for hours. I want to continue to study. But I'm able to also identify my skills because guess what? I know that I trained in it. I know I practiced, right? I know that I invested in that skill set to get me to where I'm at. And I also know too that I have certain talents. Okay, and that's what makes a person unique. That's what makes you uniquely human. That's your spirit. Okay, say bringing all this together: your passions, your skills, and your talents, and that overlap, that's your purpose. That's your purpose. And that's why you have to do this activity, because when you live and walk in your purpose, when you live and walk in your purpose, you know exactly what you're doing, why you're doing it, and where you want to go with it. Okay? When you know your purpose, and when you know your purpose, you're least likely to be inflicted with disease, anxiety, irritability, and anger. And even more importantly, I can tell you this now, even more importantly, you're able to stay focused. You just want to stay focused. You stay focused, and you will not compromise your values. Now, lastly, I can say this now. I can say this unequivocally based off experience. Okay? Based off experience. When you know your purpose and you're walking in your purpose, it's only beneficial. I'm not gonna say only, but it's mostly beneficial when it's in service to someone else. Okay? And more than likely, now I'm not a guru or anything, but more than likely you're going to know that you've identified your purpose when it's in service to something or someone. Okay, now that's different from being your purpose is always living someone else's purpose. Your purpose is always benefiting someone else. Okay, that's different. Okay, so somebody else's purpose may be making you their labor. Real talk. Somebody else's purpose may be actually demeaning you or using and abusing you and wearing you down, wearing you out mentally or physically or even financially, right? So when I say, just like Shirley Chisholm says, my service is my rent to this earth, right? When I talk about purpose, you will know your purpose because you are in service. It's serving someone else. Okay? It's not depleting you. It's being in service so that the collective, it benefits the collective, right? The community, the human experience. Okay? But you think about it. So with your purpose, when you think about your purpose, I guarantee you can see too how it's being in service to something for the better of humankind. And that could be your people, it could be your communities that you're part of, it can be the oppressed, it can be, for other women, for girls, I mean, I don't know what your purpose is, but I trust me, when you find your purpose, oh, you're gonna know, because you're gonna be like, whoa, I am giving to something bigger than me. Okay, and that's humanity, that's the universe, that's God, you name it. Okay, this is not talking religion, I'm just talking about spirituality, what's good for the betterment of the earth, plant life, animal life, right? People is making somebody else's life easier, more pleasant, more humanizing. Okay, and so I know I got a little bit off with that, but I'm telling you, you're gonna know your purpose when it's building you up and empowering you up so that you could continue to do good for other people and humanity. Okay, and so you're going to know, because I always get this question, well, how am I going to know when I've discovered my purpose? Oh, you're going to know when you discovered your purpose, because when you find your purpose, when you identify your purpose and you're able to articulate it, okay, and you're able to articulate it, it's going to be what you think about first thing in the morning. It's going to be what you dream about, daydream about in the daytime when you're at work or when you're with friends and family, when you're reading, right? It's what you actually daydream about. It's what you dream about at night. It shows up in your dreams because that's just how the universe works. You're always going to be inspired, to move toward that purpose, right? It's almost like your spirit is awakening you. Your spirit is saying, hey, I know how to get you there. I know how to keep you there. I know how to support you so that you can stay in that purpose, so that you can experience joy, so that you can experience trustworthiness, so that you can experience love and safety and security, and not only so that you can experience, so that others can experience it. It's that simple. It's that simple. You're walking in your purpose when you feel so good, you're so happy, you're so ecstatic, you have so much joy that you bring other people joy and pleasure and everything that they need as far as security and safety. Um, Lastly, yeah, I'm reading my notes. Uh, Plan to walk in it. Okay, and I'm gonna leave you all with that. So when you know your purpose, plan to walk in it. Okay, just plan to walk in it. And because once you know your purpose and you choose otherwise, oh yeah, it's no you're gonna have some dis-ease. You are going to experience irritability, anger, unhappiness, okay, depression. So I'm going to end there, and I'm going to also, again, provide these steps in the discussion section. But leave a comment. Yeah. So how do you walk in your purpose? How do you know you're working in your purpose? How do you know that other people recognize your purpose here on earth? But again, find your purpose, know your purpose, articulate your purpose, write down your purpose, and walk in your purpose. All right. Thanks. I was going to say have a good day, but thanks for watching this video. And don't forget to subscribe.